everyone, welcome back to another weekend edition here of the Code for Giants Cup. The Code for Giants Cup, the KFGC number 29, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. I'm a coach outside VIP with him, joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, one and all, to I say bi-weekly, I believe nowadays it is a monthly tournament featuring the top players from the Brazilian scene, organized of course by Cosmos. Este Cosmos. It does run the event on a regular basis, and of course last year this led into the Brazilian SC2 circuit, El Circuito Brasileiro, which did lead into a big offline event in Sao Paulo. This time I believe there's no offline event planned, but you know, again, they were able to pull that off last year. We'll see if they can do that again and crowdfund for something like that in later years, whether it's this year or next year as well. It's great to see them all come together in said offline event. Fingers crossed, Papi. But regardless, of course, we are jumping into our initial matchup. We are here in the quarterfinals. This is going to be a replay cast. One of the reasons, I mean, we had to have our close ties to Latino America, so of course we are more than happy to cover some of these events. At the time, we were busy covering, covering Thunderfire, Home Story Cup, and Rongi Cup, Lily Cup, other big major events. We just didn't have the time to cover these events live. But moving forward, coming into May, we should be able to start covering these events on a more regular basis live instead of via replays. That's the goal, at least. That is the goal. Otherwise, one is yes. Of course, we were live last night with the Sparkling Tuna Cup featuring the new TLMC maps. I do highly recommend checking out the VODs for those Team Liquid maps, as we did cover quite a lot of them. But for now, we are jumping into our fresh series. Let us go. Game 1 is going to be on Tourmaline, jumping into INexorable versus Papito. Fun fact, I'm actually not familiar with this player. Papi is a Polish Protoss player, but Papito, for the first time. Let's go. Let us go. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Insane Master Killers. It is INexorable. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the Brazilian Terran representing Host Masters or Host Gaming. It is Papito. Hi, Papito. Let's go. As here we go, we're jumping into our TvT, and we're jumping into Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the smaller maps of the map pool. Smaller map, shorter resistance by ground aggression is favored when it comes to Tourmaline, and we'll see how our players will approach this. For the time being, though, we are going to be opening up in a standard fashion. There is no proxies, there are no Raxes out across the map. So far, so good. They're calming down, Pat. Calming down. As the time being, it is going to be our initial openers here. We do have our double gas opener out of INexorable, double gas out of Papito. By opening up double gas in such a way, we are going for a faster factory, going for a delayed TC. We're going for a more tech-heavy start, a safer start as well, which makes sense, especially on Tourmaline. Right, aggression is favored on this map, so as a result of that, it is risky to go for a faster CC. This does allow for a faster Hellion in the early game. As the racks is now done, and factories should be on the way. Este Solens vibe. Bienvenidos. 140 stream streak. You're crazy, Papi. You're crazy. Also, shout out to Slow Joe as well. I believe redeeming the first quacker. Oh, we do have to get rid of the tuna. My apologies. True. This is from last night. The tuna, Papi. The tuna. Was from last night's tournament. And again, from here, we should soon be expanding. Yes, it is a double gas opener that leads into the faster factory, but technically this could lead into a one-base all-in. I'm very unfamiliar with Papito as a player, so I don't really know how aggressive and cheesy they can be. For the time being, though, we do hide in the tall grass, and INexorable shoot first. They does shoot first. 2 extra volleys going off. Nice KDA charge where the Reaper is going to be chased down and does barely get away, but this does mean that INexorable has control of the low ground. Yeah, has control of the low ground. Toss pick away the SCV. SCV goes down, delays the expansion. Second Reaper has arrived, and INexorable, he gets the hell out of here. Yeah, does pull away. Does react in time. Behind this, getting his own command center on the low ground. We have Reaper Hellion amassing here for INexorable. And so far, a slightly better start for our blue Terran. Oh. As INexorable forced back to take an extra shot to the face. Hellion has arrived. And Papito pulls away. Get este, Papito. Yeah, it does pull away. From here, we're calming things down. We can open up and follow up with Cyclones in the early game. We can try to go for earlier Stim, which is risky, but is an option as well. Yeah, there's the add-on stop. Should be for Cyclones. Likewise, with our initial starport, we can go into early drop play, or we can head towards Raven production. There are some players that have been incorporating Banshee play early on in TvT with mixed success. It's also going to be a viable option. For now, opening up Liberator. I did notice that we had a medevac on the way initially, but did cancel. I'm going for the Liberator instead. We'll see how he does incorporate, whether it's to harass or whether he does push with the main army. As he will have a little bit of extra DPS compared to his opponents. INexorable just going for a standard medevac follow-up and even going for the earlier tank. Okay, skipping the Cyclone. This is a little bit risky here from INexorable. It is safer to open up Cyclone, as of course it shoots up, it can zone away units early on. So a bit of a risk for our blue Terran. Holding out in the center of the map. Liberator has arrived, is moving out to harass. And here comes that early tank drop. Here comes INexorable. He's being hyper aggressive. With this, his goal here should be to break that natural. Again, there are going to be 2 Cyclones to defend, and depending on the lock-ons, Papito might be able to hold on, especially if he's able to engage ahead of time. INexorable making his way towards the main. Papito does push out and runs into the army. Not bad. Yeah, lock-ons on the Hellions. Hellions, ooh, one of them does fall. INexorable has to race back home, and back at home he has no bunker to defend. He has 1 Cyclone, no defensive tanks. Yeah, INexorable, he's in trouble. He's in trouble here. Try to hold on. Locking is broken, but again, he's up against 2 Cyclones. Boys are being pulled at the same time, drops into the main. Ow, there's a defensive tank. Oof, yeah, there is a defensive tank. INexorable is being cleaned up, Cyclones are overwhelmed, and INexorable, he has nothing to defend. We spoke about this, it was a big risk, a big gamble dropping across the map, and now he is exposed. He's exposed, he's vulnerable. 13 SCV kills, lose control of the natural. And Papito, he should not kill, but doing a lot of damage here to the natural CC. There we go. Does hit the mineral line, denies mining, killing more SCVs. INexorable, he has 1 Cyclone on the way, he has some Marines. This is still not going to be an easy defense here for INexorable. Base is getting low. No shot, can he kill? No shot, there we go. Yeah, boys are being pulled to repair. Marines, they start to step in. Oof. Yeah, still some brutal trades. Oh, the auto turret helping out. The turret, oh my god, almost gets a Cyclone. And INexorable, he's behind. He's down 10 workers. Economy is crippled. Behind this, Papito has to calm down, pulls away, saves the Raven. And again, it was just such a big risk for INexorable to drop across the map, and he was vulnerable. He was exposed. He got punished for it. And now INexorable, he's got some catching up to do. Oh boy. He's got some catching up to do here. And going for another double drop. Papito pushing forward. Once again, they pass by each other. This that's just the story of this game so far. We miss each other, Pappy. Papito moving in. Likewise, so does INexorable. Jumping into the mineral line. Does pick up some SCVs. We're going for the base trade. Back at home, there's 1 tank in the main for INexorable. Do we have a disable? We do. Yep. Oh, no, disables the SCV, misclick. No shot. Yeah, some panic play here from Papito, but he should still overwhelm. Yeah, still brings down the tank. Takes over the main. That's going to be a kill of the natural. But the production's under fire. Yeah, the production's under fire. Papito, he's still producing in the main base. He still has the high ground. He has a tank. He's even got a 3rd TC. Ay. And Stim is done for our red Terran. Stim is going to be denied for INexorable. Stim is denied. Going for the auto turrets. The tank does pull away in time. Whew. Oh, yeah, was stutter stepping, was punished. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from Papito. Boys are being pulled, gets on top of the tank. Even sniping a medevac, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Papito takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG well played. A very, very chaotic game 1 here where we just kept missing each other. We just kept pushing across the map, taking chances, taking risks, and INexorable, who was punished one too many times, especially early on. For him to go for his tank drop and to be caught out by having nothing at home and being forced to pull the boys and losing, what, over 10 workers, it was critical damage dealt early on. INexorable fell behind, and with that, Papito takes a lead. Does take a lead here. Again, it was a very aggressive game here. We didn't really get to settle into a proper economy and a proper back and forth, but so far a strong start. And we'll see if our blue Terran can bounce back. This morning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Insane Master Killers. Down in the series, it is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran player himself, representing Host Masters. It is Papito. We go. So delving into game number 2, and again, Papito does take a lead in the series. Does take a lead. There we go. Here we go. As now it is going to be double gas opener out of Papito. Likewise, double gas out of INexorable once again, opening up double gas. From here, we are going to be able to go into a faster factory. But what I will say is that we're loading into Winter Madness, a much larger map of the map pool, longer rushes and spike rounds. With this, we should be having a bit of a more back and forth. We should be able to build up into a 2-base economy. That should be able to. Now we are calming down. I would imagine after the first game that INexorable is going to be taking a much more defensive approach, or he's going to be more, I'd say defensive, really just more standard. Just calm down, build up on his 2 bases, and not be anywhere near as aggressive and as active. I would hope that that's the case. Would hope so. That's why Papito picks in. Yeah, picks in so far. Does actually come out on top. Ooh, and INexorable does struggle. The SCV does take a lot of hits. Second Reaper has arrived, and INexorable, he should defend, and he should not lose that Reaper. Leading on SCV. Yeah, SCV goes down. INexorable, he will defend. He'll be able to hold on. Behind this, going for his own 1-1-1. And likewise, Papito also setting up as well. Calming down, we have our 1-1-1 openers. When it comes to the early game here, we did lose 1 SCV each. Papito at least got some scouting information. Second Reaper shows up, and do we delay the CC? Okay, not bad. Command center is going to be delayed. Last, it is going to cost us the Reaper here, so Papito, who will lose map control, going to be forced back home. So actually go for his own Hellion production behind this. Interesting. So we're committing into additional Hellions, and INexorable across the map is going for his own Cyclone production instead. Building up his Cyclones. Cyclones, they do scale better in towards the mid game. Hellions less so. So Papito, he's going to be fighting for map control. Oh. Not bad. Catching at the Hellion. Catching at the Reapers as well. So a stronger mid-game, or sorry, I should say a stronger presence here from Papito early on, but the Cyclone is going to be an issue. Yes, he bleeds at Hellions, cannot fight head-on. INexorable holds. He's holding on behind this, building up additional cyclones. As we try to emphasize, like, going into a committed Reaper Hellion opener like this doesn't really scale too well into a longer game or into the mid game even. So at this point, Papito, he's kind of lost his map presence, or lost any kind of force threatening the army. Cyclones are building up, and once again, Papito going for the early Liberator. Okay, we saw this last game as well. We'll see if we can get past the Cyclones. Let's go. Liberator moves out. Due to the fact that there's no Liberator here, INexorable, he's going for the faster Raven production. Disable's on the way. Ravens are amassing tank production as well. INexorable already refining his army, building up into that mid game. Meanwhile, faster third CC out of Papito. Faster third base. Oh. Yes, Hellion's getting picked off. At the same time, we do attempt to harass in the main, denying mining, getting 2 SCVs, not bad. Not bad. The lock's crazy. as we locked down that Liberator. A very efficient trade there from INexorable. We'll still let out a couple of SCVs, but does defend. With this, yes, INexorable, he's down in workers, but he now has map control. He has a little bit more pushing power. And we'll see if he can break the third base of Papito when we expand. Papito going Liberator into Banshee play. Okay. Cloak Banshees are amassing. This is quite risky. We mentioned this in the first game as well. Cloak Banshees can be quite useful when it comes to harassing across the map. But there are Cyclones, there are Ravens as well. On top of that, Vikings are amassing for INexorable. It's a big risk for Papito. Bearing in mind that he's going to be sacrificing any kind of Raven or Viking count in favor of this. So Papito's main army is going to be weaker. Does hit the third. Banshee moves in. Okay, so far so good. SCVs are going down, but it's going to be a one-way trip. Yeah, it's going to be one way. Cyclone's getting caught. 7 SCV. Jesus. 8 SCV. Not bad. This is good damage. 9 SCVs. 10. Yeah, 10 workers going down. 11 workers even. 11. 12. 12 SCV kills. INexorable from here, he can start to move out. Bearing in mind that I do still favor INexorable's main army. INexorable, he has even tank count, but he has the Ravens, he has the Sables, he has more Marines, he has more Vikings. He's pushing. He's moving out here. And this was very nice economic damage dealt. Like, INexorable, there's a lot of pressure on him to move out, but the main army here is terrifying. The main army is coming. Papito setting up. Sends out the Banshee across the map. And here comes that main army. Does get spotted. And even if he sieges, I mean, yeah, we just have the mass disable. Oh, gosh. Now, thankfully, he wasn't sieged up, so he can get away. Tries to at least avoid being pulled. Disable's about to run out. Despite that, another tank will fall. Even later, the Vikings. And INexorable, he has too much. He has too much. He breaks through the tank line. That's all 4 tanks going down. And this is what we were worried about. Yes, the Banshees, they do amazing damage here. They kill a lot of workers. INexorable was behind economically, but the main army was still terrifying. He breaks through the main army, he breaks into the natural, and with that, INexorable is here to end the game. He's here to end it. Ay, ay, ay. It takes over the low ground. Boys are being pulled into tank fire. Oh, God. They do force some friendly fire, and hey, they kill 1, maybe even 2 tanks. Not even. As with other tanks, they did survive. GG gets called, and INexorable, he does take game number 1. Oh, game number 2, tying up the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, INexorable does tie the series up. We have a back and forth. We have an ace match here. And again, it was nice damage dealt by Papito. He did an amazing job dealing critical economic damage, even killing so many workers, but he did not have enough at home to defend, to survive, and to get into a longer game state. Couldn't quite hold on. Even with him saving the tanks, by the way, he was unsieged. He was able to pull the tanks away. But in the end, GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game 3, getting into the ace match, going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. See in the chat, is there an MMR cap or region restriction for this tournament? Just Brazil. Just Brazil. There's no like MMR cap or anything like that. Oh my god. Okay, calm down. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Insane Master Killers. It is INexorable. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Host Gaming. It is Papito. Papito. Let's go. Oh, as we're going for a proxy, the SCV does move out across the map. Not just one, but 2 SCVs. Let's go. The boys are moving out. The Raxes are being thrown down. And we'll see what kind of opener INexorable goes for. Now, my big concern here, I don't know if you noticed, but every game so far, it's been double gas. It's been double gas openers. For those that are curious, double gas openers are very safe. They're very, very safe because they allow you to get a faster factory and faster Hellion production. So Proxy Reaper is that much weaker against the style. If INexorable was mixing in economic builds, especially in Winter Madness, then it would make sense to mix in some cheese. But here, I'm a little bit less convinced. We'll see how we incorporate our axes and what we delve into. Gases are being taken back at home. Our axes are almost done. And Papito, he can soon move out. And INexorable goes for the SCV scouts. It is not uncommon to skip your SCV scout, but INexorable is being safe. Oh, hello. This is not 2-Rax Reaper. This is going to be 2-Rax into early Tech Lab. With this, we can go into early Concussive Shell, into Marauders. Eyes are on Papito. You have my attention. Okay. Okay. Papito. As Marauders are amassing. Now, this can work against a faster factory base opener. Hellions do struggle against this. INexorable, of course, he's scouting. My apologies. He does confirm the gases. He does see the lack of racks, and he throws down a safety bunker. Good reaction. Good reaction. Good scouting. Again, INexorable doesn't know. He doesn't really know what's going on, but he's playing very safe. Even getting a bunker at the Reaper Cliff, this tells us that he is scared of 2-Rax Reaper. So bunker at both entrances. We know, of course, that we only really need one. But INexorable can salvage. And there we go. He does now spot. Now's where the Marauder. He can cancel. It does let it finish. Yeah, it does let it finish. Spots additional Marauders. There's the salvage. And we'll see if Papito can break through. Yeah, there's already tank production though. Again, because of the double gas opener, there's already a tank on the way. Boys are being pulled. Marauders, they try to bust in. They try to run past. They try to run past the bunker here, but alas, the boys. The citizens arrest. Pappy gets it. Takes down the first Marauder. The second Marauder even. Yeah, and they're being cleaned up. They're being cleaned up here, GG. GG gets called. Cheeky build here by Papito, but in the end, INexorable, he will hold, he will defend, he will shut this down, and he will claim the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, INexorable, he was able to scatter across the map and confirming that something was wrong, something was amiss. Again, he didn't know it was Proxy Marauder. That's why he was getting his bunker at the Reaper Cliff. He wasn't fully aware as to what was going on. But again, he was quick to get his bunkers up and running, and of course, quick to switch into his factory, into his own tank production as well, just to ensure that he was going to be safe and sound, shut down the cheese. GG. GG, well played. And with that, I mean, once again, just to reiterate, the build that Papito went for can work if there's no SCV scouts. And it is not uncommon for SCV scouts to be skipped in TvT, especially on larger maps, right? It's like players like Beyond, players like Maru, players like Cure, they often do skip their SCVs, especially on larger maps. On smaller maps, though, it's less common to skip your worker scouts. So we can see this working on like Winter Madness or maybe Mothership. Mothership is like an RNG factor for sure. But I'm thinking of Winter Madness, I'm thinking of White Rabbit as well. But on these smaller maps, just because aggression is more favored, like SCV scouts are a little bit more common, and yeah, we gambled. The gamba didn't quite pay off. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. And INexorable does claim the series, does advance on into the semi-finals. into the semifinales, where he's going to be going up against one of our own. It's time, Papi. Here we go. It is going to be Eric versus INexorable in the semis. He's our boy, Papi. He's our boy.